Many thanks for still staying with us here on the show Big Talk. Over the weekend, or call it last week, former President Buhari's residence in Kaduna State was becoming a set of what people have said Mecca since we had the Eid celebration, especially following the report that the Congress for Progressive Change bloc of the APC and some former ministers who served under the ex-president were planning to defect to the Social Democratic Party. One of Buhari's loyalists and the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir Rufai, defected to SDP on March 15, citing some growing misalignment between his personal values and the current direction of the All Progressive Congress as the primary reason for his decision. Meanwhile, also the All Progressive Congress and governors elected on the party were actively working to stop the former President Buhari and his loyalists from aligning with opposition figures. We've also had a report from the insider about the APC National Secretariat, which is the reason behind the visit of the National Working Committee and APC Governor Buhari at his residence in Kaduna State. But behind all of these visits to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what are the signals already on grounds about the ongoing coalition talks? And now some members of the APC are having to say we are not in any way happy about the situation of things in this country, and that's the reason why they have taken a whole lot of work to get these opposition stronger day by day. But the big question many have continued to ask is how many opposition do we need? How strong is the opposition in Nigeria to engage the current administration in getting things right? And tonight, we didn't just see all of that conversation, and of course, turning attention also to the issues and rising insecurity challenges in Plateau State. But my guest to discuss the 2027 politics is Sheshug Mika, the DG of North Central Progressive Patriot. He's live here on the show. Thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Michael. Good evening, viewers.
Yes, very much. A lot. Let me begin from your state. The former presidential candidate of Labour Party tweeted yesterday registering his grievances over the fact that the government, even with all of the attempts to visit some of the IDP camps and some families who lost their loved one during the unfortunate situations of the insecurity, he did that in Plateau State just on a Sunday. And yesterday being Monday, he paid a visit he wanted. He was on his already way to Benue State. He said, tried to call the governor a night before that day, tried to call the ADC of the governor, but at the end of the day, they refused him entrance. He couldn't access the state, and he was told not to visit those camps. Do you feel that this is opposition fighting back and playing politics with welfareism? Because some person has said, look, this person was just visiting the camps. It wasn't an issue of political rallies. He wasn't going for a Labour Party meetings. He was going to visit some family who are victims of circumstances.
Well, I don't know what the intent of his visit is other than politics. For the records, this is a man in the last few years since he came on board to contest the presidency against the current president, President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We've seen his modus operandi. So whatever he does, there's a political undertone. And this that just happened in Benue is not different from what he has been known for in recent times. So now let's interrogate the issues. He, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the last election, as he rightly mentioned, Peter Obi, going to my state, I'm from Benue State, to identify with the people at the IDP. Now let's look at the issue of protocol. He was once a governor, so he should know better. The governor has a team of people working with him, and before you get to see the governor, you visit a state, you need a security clearance, right? Peter Obi is not just an ordinary citizen. He is someone who has served as a governor. This is someone who at some point contested the presidency of this country. This is someone that at some point served as economic advisor to the former president. So him going to Benue State, what was the effort he made? Did he reach out to the governor's team? Was he given clearance to visit? And let me take you back. You're talking about a man that was once a governor, and it's been said, it's on national TV, it was on national TV. You had the former governor of Kaduna State accusing him of locking him up in his hotel room for 48 hours when he visited his state as a member of the APC when Peter Obi held sway as the governor of Anambra State. It's because According to him, the former governor of Kaduna State did not give him prior notice. Now, you're talking about going to the IDPs. IDP is not just a place that comprises 2-3 persons. IDP, a lot of persons are there. And then you're going there to give succor. If you're going to the IDP, first of all, you need security around that vicinity, because if you're giving out arms to these people, can you guarantee safety or orderliness? The answer is no. So in the event this results to a stampede, the governor will be blamed for all of that. So in my own view, I think Peter Obi did not go about this the right way, because I have been able to reach out to the protocol to the governor. The protocol to the governor happens to be my childhood friend. We grew up together. And then the SEMA DG, you know, if you are going to Benue State, even if National Emergency Management Agency is going to Benue State to carry out such responsibility, the agency liaises with the state emergency management agency. Was there communication between the Peter Obi team and the state emergency management agency? The answer is no. So how was he going to carry out such humanitarian service without the involvement of those on ground? So these are the questions we should begin to ask. People should not just come out to play politics.
So you feel that the political undertone for that is visible? I mean, some person will disagree with you. He did that to Plateau State. What did it turn out to be a political rally? Yeah, was there in any way it looks that that was a political visit? Because we must separate politics, you know, from very sensitive issues like this.
Okay. Now, this is it. When you're dealing with political actors, you look at them, there's a precedent. Peter Obi is known for engaging in stuff like this in recent times, because now the configuration of Nigeria talks about North and South. Peter Obi is from the South. And let's take it down to his region. This is happening on a day that is declared sit at home in his own region. Are you saying that the people of the Southeast do not need this help he wants to take to Benue State, or he's bringing to the North Central as a leader, not just a leader, a former governor of a state, an economically viable state like Anambra State? It's on record. You, myself, and every other person out there knows that on Monday nobody dares to go out for businesses. So assuming he were to carry out these humanitarian services coming from good intention, and they say charity begins at home, don't you think it would have been appropriate for him to start from Anambra State or any of the southeastern states, if not going around looking for political support?
He has been doing that in some of those states, and this is a man that wants to be a president. So he might not just, you know, limit his hand out or way of always responding to issue just to Saudis. But that's not the matter of today.
No,
let's move from that, because it's not the matter of our discussion tonight. We are looking at APC and PDP opposition SDP are lobbying to get former President Buhari's support. But a lot of persons are angry that if we talk of former President Buhari, that he never did well in this country. His 10 years under his watch, economy wasn't getting better, and even this administration will tell you that we inherited a bad economy. But for whatever reason, APC, visited the former president at his Kaduna residence just moments after the likes of the likes of Atiku Abubakar, Nasser Rufai, and some members of the defunct CPC, and some political parties were there to visit. And one will be forced to ask, why do they really need the support of former President Buhari? If former President Buhari happens to declare support for SDP, would that give or weaken the All Progressive Congress as we stand today?
Michael, I have to be honest with you, because I'm a practical politician. I am on ground. I go out engaging people who matters in the equation of harvesting the vote. So I can tell you, if Buhari decides to throw his support for the opposition, I belong to the ruling party, I can tell you we'll be in a serious trouble. Buhari is not just an individual. This is a man who has a large followership. And it has demonstrated that in the number of times as he contested for presidency until 2015 that he was fortunate to get that seat. So Buhari declaring support for the opposition would mean a whole lot for the opposition. So I need you to understand this, that Buhari is not just somebody that people go there for photo exhibition. People are going to Buhari because they know that if he decides to support the opposition or he still stays with the ruling party, it's a plus. He's a man who has the vote. He has supporters that are very loyal to him. So a man like that, every politician that is serious about the contest will want to identify with such a man.
Does your party acknowledge that there are some persons that are not comfortable with President Tinubu's administration? Because we've also heard a lot of persons speaking. Former governor of Kaduna said, Nasir El-Rufai said, this is not the APC of our dream. And Duma is also crying out that appointment is a one-sided in the country. A lot of voices are coming out from the north. But does your party get worried about all of these voices coming out, the criticism coming out from the north, and the fact that some north feels that this government is not really carrying them along owing to the vote and the number of support they enjoyed from this region? Do you feel that way?
Well, I'll give you my personal opinion because I am not going to go with what other people's opinions are. I'll give you my opinions and insider, okay? I'm a member of this party, and I know how much of effort the former governor of Kaduna State put in place for us to have this government in place today. So it would be unfair to him that I come on a national TV and I try to downplay the role he played. I acknowledge how much of effort he put in place, and it's on that basis that I disagree with whoever says that El-Rufai is a pushover. He is not. El-Rufai did so much for the coming on board of this present government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I don't think any right political actor would want to disregard such a person. But that's by the way. Talking about my party being threatened, of course it will be me living in denial because these guys, to me, I think they are starting quite early. We came in as an opposition in 2013. Our own time, we came in just 2 years to the 2015 general election. But you see, this agitation by El-Rufai started last year. So if we have to go by that, last year to this moment, it's quite a good number of time to add to the remaining month or a year plus that leads to the next general election. So I think it gives them a leverage to prepare better. So to me, I'll be honest, I am quite worried, and I pray and wish and hope that the right thing be done. My party will try to correct those things that some members of the party feel so aggrieved about. Because El-Rufai just took an exit. It's a big minus to us.
You feel that way?
I feel that way convincingly.
Even when the governor of Kaduna State is saying that with or without him, we can still deliver Kaduna State to the president. So a lot of persons have watered down the capacity or what it takes for El-Rufai for the next election.
Michael, let me tell you something. This is my field. I have been in this game 22 years and counting. If you start looking at it from 2003, that I got involved actively. So I think over the years I've been able to gather some experience that I can speak authoritatively to issues relating to party politics, governance, and the rest of it as far as democracy is concerned. I can tell you, El-Rufai is a force. Do not listen to anybody coming online to say whatever they don't know. I know how much of effort, I know how much of weight this man is going to pull, and it's a threat to us. Imagine the likes of El-Rufai coming out. Okay, you mentioned Ali Ndume. Ali Ndume is not a pushover in Borno State. Okay? So when these are members of the party, Ali Ndume still remains a member of the All Progressives Congress. So, God forbid, he gets aggrieved and then somehow he leaves. Are we going to be comfortable losing our strong party men and women? It's not the right way to go. So I don't believe in this idea of discarding people because they've disagreed and maybe for reason best known to them or based on conviction or principles. They've taken a walk. Then they've become so irrelevant, forgetting that yesterday they were there, that they contributed so much that their efforts we all appreciated. We have to do right by everybody. We came in together as members of the opposition to bring this party on board.
Power. People
Today,
said,
it's a ruling party.
People said what APC came, I mean, the formation of APC was just to grab power and run with it. But life of Nigerians has not gotten better after getting the power from 2015, again 2019, and got re-elected in 2023. And now APC is still insisting of 2027. Some person are angry and saying that this is not the APC. This is not what Nigeria needed. The change that was to bring, I mean, the change that they envisaged that was to come as not. CPC, SCN, those who came together to form APC today are still very angry. Do you feel that these are the voices that we should not pay attention to? The voices of Nigerians that are saying that lives and things are not better off under when we were in PDP. That's what they're also insisting on, compared to almost 10 years of APC rule. Are you bothered as a concerned party member, one of those who saw that merger of 2013? Are you proud to say that that really has meant well for this country?
Truth be told, so far, with what I'm saying, I do not even want to glorify PDP with a mention, because to me, it's a party dead and gone.
If you're the PDP is dead?
Yeah. The PDP is not in the equation.
The party that has ruled this country for more than 16 years.
No. PDP,
PDP. What if Jonathan comes back to the race?
No. Listen, if Jonathan comes back to the race, it's not going to make any difference as far as the PDP. The PDP, to me, is dead.
Those parties still, that party still have governors. They still have, I mean, structures. It's not.
Okay. I think
it's even. I mean, it has been a lasting party than APC. If we want to go by history.
They lasted 16 years. Okay.
They are still existing to today. They only lasted 16 years.
They lasted 16 years. No, we're talking about government at the center. Okay. The whole issues about Nigeria, as we all know, it is narrowed towards the center. So now, like, a lot of things fall under the exclusive list under the purview of the presidency. The president more or less controls most of all of these things. So that's why the discussion about governance in this country is taken to the presidency and the center. So when you talk about PDP, I refer to PDP as being a dead party, because I don't see PDP coming back. Now, just today, the governor of your state is a member of the PDP, has declared support for the re-election of my president, our president, the president of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So do we say PDP is still strong and a force to reckon with? For the records, you have a former governor of PDP who now serves as a minister of the FCT. He is still a member of the PDP. He has not left PDP. And this is a force in PDP that PDP themselves cannot say that he's a paperweight politician.
Is your party destroying PDP?
Well, my party is not destroying PDP. My party is doing. No, that's strategy.
Why are they getting? Why? I mean, for appointing former governor of Rivers State, some person said that was to weaken the party. That appointment has weakened the party.
That's but I think it's this same country that people talk about. After politicking comes governance. If we should go by that, Wike merits the position he's been given, and for me, has been delivering. And for the records, if we talk about government of national unity, it's about Nigeria. It's no longer about APC, SDP, Labour Party, and the rest of it.
So you feel this government and your party are not weakening opposition parties? The crisis in Labour Party have also been linked up to the fact that this is orchestrated by your party as well.
The truth is, I think people need to go back to the drawing board, okay? These opposition parties, if they are really serious, they know what to do, okay? Like the saying goes, that it only takes the effort of insiders to invite an outsider to come and have a field day. You cannot just come to my house to create chaos or cause confusion in my house if there's no willing support in my own house. So whatever that is linked to the APC has been responsible for the confusion, disagreement, infighting, factionalization in the opposition parties, because the opposition parties have made room for that. And the APC being a ruling party, politics is a game of interest, okay? You don't go into politics because you want to please those that oppose you. All that matters is, okay, I want to have my hands on the leadership of these settings, okay? So if you are doing that, you don't need to do what pleases the opposition. If the opposition, there's something about the opposition that makes them weak, you ride on that to your advantage. So whatever happens to the opposition today is an added advantage to the APC.
All right, go back to that question about that formation of 2013, 2014, that merged for 2015. 10 years after, are you so proud of that coming together of these political parties to form APC and the governance of former President Buhari, 8 years, and these 2 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Because before we can even talk of 2027, a lot of persons will ask, I mean, the political battle or the coming together of politicians to get power in 2015, has it better Nigeria and Nigerians at all?
Well, it depends on the angle that's coming from, okay? There are gains and, of course, there are setbacks. Because government, like they say, is a continuum, okay? President Muhammadu Buhari took over from former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. He did his 8 years, he left. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu
Naira was better under Jonathan. Cost of fuel, cost of living, I mean, rents, bag of rice, I mean, living wage of many Nigerians were better off. That is a comparison, because if politics is about getting the lives of people better, if at the end of the politics, life of people are not better, there are people are now asking the questions. So do you feel that these questions are not justifiable to ask?
Michael, the truth is, I try so hard not to sound insensitive. I am a Nigerian. I live in this country.
No, speak with facts. You may remove your emotions with facts.
I'm a Nigerian. I live in this country. I know what's going on. The truth be told, of course, yes, there's no denying it. The standard of living as of today is not the same as 10 years ago. And honestly, that's expected, because we are moving forward. We're not going backwards. But for the time being, what are the efforts being made by the government of the day to see how these issues are resolved? This still takes us back to the issue of the subnationals. You are aware, I am aware, our viewers also are aware. We heard of subsidy removal. In that case, more monies have been appropriated to the subnationals. So the governance of Nigeria is not just about who is the president. The most the president can do in some instances borders on, okay, safety of lives. Yes, the safety is not guaranteed as it should. But then, talk about the standard of living. What are the subnationals doing? This is not just about who is at the center. The person who is at the center can do his best or try his best. Then, expectation should be placed on those at the subnationals, because they've been elected just like the president has been elected.
All right.
This is not just about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. My own concept and knowledge of governance, it's an all-encompassing thing, okay? You and I also have roles to play. It is not just limited to those that we've elected. Now you talk about prices of commodities, you talk about the living wage. I don't think there's any living wage, because the take-home pay is not something that even takes you outside your office. So there's nothing like take-home pay because of the inflation and all of that. Yes, the inflation can be excused to a global thing, which is not just limited to Nigeria.
All right. In a bit, do you feel that there's any amount of opposition or coalition or merger that can unseat President Tinubu in 2027? Do you feel that political calculations can't distract your party and the re-election of President Tinubu?
Of truth, for now, I don't see any serious opposition. In all fairness, for now, there's no serious opposition. Yes, people can make noise out there, but go out there, do your own calculation, engage the people. The permutation still remains same. You see, Asiwaju that is on the lips of the people, because we are not practicing a system that allows for independent candidacy. As far as parties are the platforms through which people vie to become president, governors, and the rest of it, so far there's no alternative, in all fairness. The president has no challenger as it stands today.
All right. What will be your passionate appeal if that demand by Ndume that appointment is decided, just considering the economic team of the president, that you see more names of the Southwest Do you feel that there's a need for the government to pay attention to that? On the flip side, because some person will look at what President Buhari or former President Buhari also did in his tenure, having more of the North within more of his consideration for his appointment. Do you feel that there's a more for President to pay attention to that has been raised by Senator Ali Ndume?
The issue raised by Senator Ali Ndume, quite frankly, I do not come here to speak as a northerner, even though I am from the north. Neither am I here to speak as someone who is from the north central Benue State. Speaking as a Nigerian, I think there's some misinformation out there that needs to be corrected too. In Nigeria, we have north and south. Then you still have 6 geopolitical zones. Out of these 6 geopolitical zones, you have the north central that is a bit complex, yes. You have some Yorubas that are also in the north central. I will give you an example. The appointment of the group managing director of NNPC. This is a Yoruba man, but he's not from the south, he's from the north. So I don't think where I come from I should be robbed of that I'm deserving of, maybe because of my ethnicity. If I am from the north, I am from the north squarely. It does not matter if I speak Igbo, then it means the Igbos are majorly from the south, or southeast as it were. Then my being a northerner, I've been denied the privilege because I speak same dialect as those people. We cannot move forward with this kind of mentality. So I think on the issue of appointments, yes, it still needs to be done, because for whatever question that has been raised, there is some iota of truth in it. Because Ali Ndume is a respected elder statesman, a 7th senator. I don't think he will just come on national TV to make baseless accusations or statements that he cannot substantiate or back them with facts. So I have not been privy to go through the list or whatever it is, because to me, it's more about the governance of Nigeria, how it better the lives of Nigerians, and not where one appointees come from.
Very excellent there. Mr. Mika, thanks so much for joining us on the show and giving us your sense on all of these issues. Again, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Everyone, we'll be turning attention to insecurity. There are a lot of trouble in Plateau State as we speak. The governor is so bitter about the lives that have been lost. 51 corpses discovered and have been given a mass burial. But despite this unrelenting battle against banditry and terrorism in Nigeria, how far and what should be a major steps by all authorities involved to addressing all of these issues? We'll be going on a very quick break, everyone. And once we return, Professor Ibrahim will be here to highlight all of these developments on the show. Stay with us. I'll be right back. Nigeria's security agencies, armed bandits have continued to visit some sorrow and tears and bloods on their citizens in many parts of this country, most especially at the Middle Belt and Plateau State precisely, leaving a trail of that. And now ask the question many people will continue to ask as the Nigerian security architecture failed, are Nigerian security agencies overwhelmed, or are they incapacitated to handle all of those concerns? Have successive Nigerian government been able to handle and treat the escalating insecurity challenges we have in the country? Professor Ibrahim is live here on the show to analyze all of these developments. Thanks so much, Prof, for being part of the show tonight. Let's begin with Plateau State. It's a very sad day. 51 corpses have so far been discovered, even when some person said it may be more than 51 that have been attacked by herdsmen. This time, lives, blood shed have been wasted. Where is the failure for this situation? Who are those to be blamed? Who do we point our fingers to? And beyond pointing fingers to, how do we begin to address all of these issues from repeating itself again? Because these are lives of Nigerians, that have been wasted.
Good evening. I don't think it is a time for blame game or whatever. We are not pointing accusing finger to anybody. They should know the right thing to do if they are actually adequately ready to do the needful. In this time, we shouldn't call anybody the henchman, because there is no henchman anywhere. We should look at the indices. There is no need calling anybody the henchman. We have not arrested henchmen to say who confess that they are the people adequately doing this. So if anybody masquerade as a henchman, then it becomes very, very difficult for us to address the issues. The situation is bad, but don't call the kettle black, whereas the pot is also black. We saw the situation that happens in Edo. They said the henchmen. Where are the henchmen? So we have already given a name to it, that it is henchmen, it is the Fulani Marandas and the rest. This has nothing to do with the henchmen. We should go back to redesign our security to fit in what is rightly attainable. What is rightly attainable before we start painting some class of people what they are not. We have given names, we have called a lot of names, and these are not yielding any results, because anybody can disguise to be anybody. I was waiting for people to tell us the truth of the situations. The management, the administrators, the managements, and the operatives of our security agencies should come and tell us the truth of what is really happening. They should not masquerade anything. It should be an open thing. The governor is saying that he has wasted a lot of money on security. What's security? Security, and people say the security architecture is failing. There was never an architecture. What security designs do we have? What have we done to mitigate against the situations we have? We don't have anything we have done to mitigate the situations we have. We don't have any security design, not to talk of a development. So you have to design, you have to develop, then before you start talking of whatever architecture you have. An architect who is a graduate sitting at home has no design for whatever he wants to, it is. And that is the kind of situation we have here. We have men who call themselves security agents, but there is no design in place, not to talk of development. So they have nothing to offer us as we talk. So it's only when we have a design that we not think of how to mitigate against what is happening. And we should also not blame any herdsmen.
So how do we describe this situation? Because they said they have left their farms. I mean, people. How do we even begin to look at who are those? I mean, should be involved, because you are saying that we shouldn't. I mean, do the name tagging, calling herdsmen, but they are leaving their farms. They came to their families and their communities. Killed, marched, and all of those instructions. At what interest should a group of persons or a community be under a siege of this nature? Are they trying to get mineral resources? What is the interest? These are the things that must be also be validated from all of this. So if they're saying that it is herdsmen who are always coming to their community, these are the first time, these are the second time, again and again and again.
Okay, I want to come to the plateau. We all know that from the 60s to the 70s, what is always, not even before the 60s, but let me talk of the 60s to the 70s, Plateau was the home of tin and columbite and other minerals. What have we done to safeguard these deposits? And who are the people who are exploiting these deposits? What is the indices of the Ministry of Solid Minerals coming in to say this is what we get from the plateau? Nobody has told us anything up to today. Nothing has been done about it. And now that there are some frameworks on the mining sector, a lot of people are coming out to trap on that sector to make sure that there is no framework to implement the government policies. In doing that, they have stagnated the system to divert the attention of the government and the people from the real cause of what we are receiving today in the plateau. Not only in the plateau, and other areas. Just as I always say, the poorest state in Nigeria can generate 200 billion US dollars. The poorest. So if you go back and look at these indices, will these people allow it because some people are involved? Will they allow the plateau to generate what they are supposed to generate? And also, is the state government serious to invest on the components they have in their states? The answer is no. So the political will is not there from state government because most of the governors are depending on the federal allocations, not what they can make out of their states. And that is not a presidential system of government. So they should come out and tell us this is exactly what is happening in our state. These are the people involved. And these are the people championing it. Not blaming it on one herdsman because you feel that when I say herdsman, everybody will listen to me. The people who are involved in this, how many numbers of them compared to the population of the state? What has the security of that state done to say, okay, this thing has happened repeatedly, mostly in the plateau. This has been going on for the past 20-something to 30 years. What have they done? They have not done anything. The state government has not come out with one action plan to mitigate the situation. It is a very small problem.
What approach should the state government or federal government or even the community or the local government begins to approach in the situations like this? Because the moment it has gotten so high where people now feel they feel no longer safe and the responsibility of government is to protect lives and properties, it gets to a point that it has escalated, and one may begin to say, what should be the approach in the situations of this nature? It is already happening in Plateau State. It took place some weeks ago in Benue State, Edo State. It might also happen again in another state. I know it has been happening in San Francisco and all of that.
Let me come to the incident. I will bring what approach we can use, but then I'm also going to bring the incident of what happened in Uromi, for example. The Edo State Security Network stopped a vehicle, saw that these were hunters, asked the hunters to come down. The hunters came down. They opened the boot of the vehicle. They saw guns. It's not as if these people were with the guns carrying them on their hands. And these are day guns, hunters' guns, and the rest. And the first demand was 10 million naira. I watched the footage from my system. I put on the satellite and watched the details of what was happening. They came down to 5 million. These people said, we are going for Salah. And we can give you something as this is a token because we are all celebrating it together. They insisted. And the same people, the security network, hauled it on them, shouting that they are bandits and kidnappers. And you know what it means when you are blinded bandits and kidnappers. And the people, the villagers came in. And what happened? We lost a lot of people. Just because you are gullible, you want money. So do you call them bandits? Do you call them kidnappers? Did you call them herdsmen? Almost similar incident happens again just last week in Edo. Before they went to the hotel and found out that these people were not even in any hotel and these were not just hoax formations. But they were already arrested by the same Edo security network. So what are we after? Are you saying the average Fulani man must not move in the street because he will be branded a henchman or a bandit or a kidnapper? So we should first of all nip this to the mud. Then let's come to adequate system that we are not operating on. Let's come to the policing network. The policing network is at fault. These are not duties for the military or so. The policing network, you have to blame the SSS, State Security Service, and the police. Because they are supposed to have a very good training and a good background on policing network. From the grassroots policing, to the neighborhood policing, to community policing, to state policing, to national policing, to global policing, and policing the police. That is the whole idea of policing network. So nobody was trained on grassroots policing. Nobody was trained on neighborhood policing. So we went to community policing. And in community policing, we were just given a breakdown, which is sit on the fence and wash, which is not a comprehensive training for community policing. But let us say they have some training on community policing. But where in the world have you not gone to elementary school? You have not gone to secondary school or standard school, and you went to the university and performed credibly well. So we have to go back to policing network. The moment we go into the policing network, we will get all these things right. We will get it right. Then that is part of it. Secondly, we have not bring in what we call system security engineering into our practice, where technology now play a vital role in our security system. I just told you that from the comfort of my house, I know what happened in Edo. I don't need to go anywhere. I don't want any detailing from the Office of the National Security Advisor or from the IG or from the DSS or whatsoever. But it's costly. It's expensive for an individual to get footage of everything that happens around the country. So why is the government not deploying technology to make sure these things are well done? The time of closed circuit cameras has gone. The time of drones has gone. Drone is a passerby technology. It has gone. We are on cloud cameras. So the foreigners has every right to do whatever they are doing in the country because we are not using our experts. We are not using our specialists.
Do you feel that, hiring people to do those jobs or the recruitment of the process, we are missing it as a country?
We have missed it already. It's not we are missing it. We are missing it. Because you can't power.
Is it from the field? Are we not having the right hand on the field doing carried out this order or this command of protecting the lives? Because every state, because the governor said he has invested so much that, for instance, the governor of Plateau State, he said, with all of the investment he has carried out in terms of managing the insecurity levels in Plateau State, he never would have expected that, people, as you said, a group could come in to kill more than 50 persons at a time in the community. So if we look at other states, some states will tell you this is what we are also doing in terms of getting a security right and all of that. So the big question now is, are the people that are doing the job, are they not professionals enough, or the people hiring them has to be questioned? Because we must begin to look at in the future of the nation how we can curtail situations of this nature.
So I want to also answer that with a question. Can I be in the comfort of my house and I will just be invaded? It's not possible. So where has these invaders come from? How do they get to where they are overnight? They pass through some channels to get to where they invaded. So what was the security doing at that period? Were they sleeping, or they were lying low, or waiting for them to invade and make a word out of it? Do they take any proactive measures that needs to say, oh, this is what we did and we were overpowered? So you cannot just fault 52 people or more than that, more than 50 people just from the cloud. It's not possible. So is it only one person that invaded the place? So that they said, we did not suspect this person. And how did they leave the place? Because it's not just a small house. It is an entire village. So how? How was the invasion carried out? So they should tell us what is actually happening. They should tell us.
Who are to inform us?
Who is the chief security officer of the state? I'm not the chief security officer of the
To the
state.
account of the governor.
And from the account, you are not the chief security officer of the state.
From the account of the governor, it might be different from what the Office of the National Security Advisor may say. The governor, as I said, used the word herdsmen categorically on his broadcast.
Is that word herdsmen is what we have to kill. We have to kill the mindset of the people that these are not herdsmen. These are criminals. And how do we tackle these criminals?
All right. A lot to be worried about of the state of insecurity in our nation. Solving the problem of insecurity is becoming, a very big questions in the room. But what more is approach and how these they can begin to provide better and various solutions to solving the problems of insecurity that we have in the country. Professor Ibrahim, thanks so much for joining us on the show. We know that you may never exhaust all of those concerns you may have with the security situations in this country, but we do hope that it get better because lives of Nigerians is at stake every time. Security matter is always a very emotional matter. I can see how you are very emotional about it. Thanks so much, Prof, for joining us on the show tonight. Everyone, we may never get exhausted, but the matter is that those involved, respective authorities must put their hands on deck to address the situation that we have in regards to our insecurity. The problem of insecurity needs our approaches and various solutions in tackling them. This is where we put it there tonight on the show. My name is Dickett Michael. Thanks so much for being part of the program tonight. We do hope to have you again join us tomorrow same time on the station. Bye-bye.